Hi everyone, before the video starts, I have already made an intro, but I've just now watched the entire interview. It's a very long interview, a lot of gems in this. What we're going to do is I'm going to post this entire thing now, and then I'm also going to post some sort of snippets, some micro content essentially, going over some of the most important parts. As you can see, there's a lot of different bars down here showing different things that we can look at, and I want to go through a lot of the different parts together in a not 1 hour long video. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Hello everyone, it's Zach again. I'm back, and today we're looking at ECOMI VeVe Ask Me Anything with Reese, and of course Taps Trades. I am late to this mainly because I've only really been posting about this stuff over the past 24 hours, and this interview came out roughly around a week ago. That said, I'm excited to look through it. Let's see what we can find, any gems in here, etc. Let's go.
One Taps here, and I have the pleasure of welcoming the man, the myth, the legend, Reese of ECOMI and VeVe. Thanks so much, Reese, for taking the time to hop on a call with a smaller channel like mine for an interview slash AMA. I'm not sure what to call it, but I know the subscribers, community, and I all appreciate it, man. Welcome.
You are very welcome. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you're calling from Australia?
East Coast Australia. Yeah.
Wow.
All right. It's on the list of places to go, but I haven't been able to make it yet. So I hear it's beautiful. East Coast is a little bit better than West Coast?
Honestly, I've never made it to the West Coast.
What?
So much. Australia is huge.
I mean, I know, but
monstrous. And it's, generally speaking, it's cheaper to fly overseas than it is to fly to the other side of the country.
That's fair.
So that tends to be most people's travel plans, mine included. I'll get there eventually. But,
yeah. You got plenty of time, you know.
Absolutely. I can always come back. I just did 7 months road tripping around the country.
Wow.
Last year. So the only place I didn't get to was Western Australia.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I haven't done a 7-month trip, but I'm a big traveler myself. I'm actually on the west coast of the States, and I've been to the East Coast, but there's still like 20 states I haven't been to. So got time.
Yeah, every state in America is its own country. Like it's insane.
That's why we all have substantially different accents.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I strongly recommend a trip here. It's fantastic.
I mean, imagine if I come out to the East Coast, like we're gonna share a beer and actually get to like do this in person, right?
Yep, absolutely. A couple of beers. Yeah.
Sounds good. So I mean, you and your entire team have to be constantly slammed with how fast everything's blown up with ECOMI and VeVe over the past 3 months. I mean, I don't know how you find time to sleep, man.
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of it the last few months. This week, I feel like we've taken a breath. Things went really well last night with the drop, or this morning for you guys.
Yep.
Which has been nice, but yeah, since the start of the year, it's been all systems go.
Yeah, I mean, the drop this morning was super clean, super easy. I mean, I think everyone's happy with it, and it's kind of crazy when you have to appeal to the masses. Like we're all these hungry fans, right? And like people are getting a little bit crazy in.
I'm trying to think about which drop they're referring to, because this was like a week ago or so it wasn't like the most recent drop. I don't think. Maybe it was the DeLorean one, but it could have been the Cryptokins. I don't think it's the Cryptokins, because it might have been. Who knows?
And the Twitter and everything like that, like with very much unreal, like it's in beta, guys, and this went from 5,000 users 2 months ago to like 250,000 plus. Like,
I should also preface, actually, for those of you who, if you haven't watched my videos yet, if you don't know who I am, which is incredibly likely because I'm such a new channel on this, I am a noob to NFTs, crypto, all this stuff, but it's incredibly exciting, which is why I've made this channel and why I'm in business anyway. I enjoy just running my own businesses, looking at what's going on with much larger businesses than myself, etc. And that's that.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's truly been exponential, the growth that we've seen. And I mean, that's a credit to everybody in our community. You guys are just the most incredible marketers we could have hoped for. So, yeah, it's great.
Well, I mean, to your guys' credit, I mean, there literally seems to be a new development like every single day with ECOMI and VeVe, which I think like that's what makes all of us so excited to be involved in spreading awareness, because I can't think of another NFT or even crypto project in general that like has daily or weekly developments that are communicated to us.
Yeah, that's probably pretty accurate. I mean,
I want to use this as an opportunity as well, and I'm going to be speaking throughout this. I'm not just going to be watching the video and saying nothing. I actually have something to say here, because this is actually one of the reasons why I've personally started posting a lot more VeVe. You know, I know a lot more about other parts of business, especially within IP business, gaming business, etc., than crypto, than NFTs. And one of the biggest reasons why I've actually looked into this more so is because one of my friends showed me VeVe. But also the main thing is that the drops that I'm seeing, you know, where I'm from, gaming, YouTube, you're waiting for developers to show something new, whether it's a new map, a new game mode, a new character, a new this, new that. And sometimes they can be really fast, sometimes it can be a bit slower, and you got to just sort of try and work with them, because at the end of the day, the devs do try. Now with VeVe, from what I've seen, we're looking at so many legacy brands, and we're looking at happening all the freaking time. Now, when I've been looking at this stuff on my own channel, we've already gone through Jurassic Park, we've been through Star Trek, we've been through all these different things already, and I haven't even been posting for more than a day. So very exciting. It's really awesome to see from a YouTuber's perspective as well.
This whole platform has been in development for a couple of years now. Yep. And obviously that involved the building of the platform, but also all of the ideas and all of the fun things and the layers that we can build in. So now that it looks like we're past the optimization stage, we can actually start to roll those developments out and make the whole experience much more enjoyable as well. So
yeah, I wish I got in a couple years ago with ECOMI token and all that, but I did. I think I first heard about you guys from Blockchain Andy back like the end of January, and I got on the app, and I got like an Eduardo Riso Batman, a couple other things. Nice. And I remember showing my friends. I was like, oh, like check this out, like showing them augmented reality. And at the time, they're like, okay, like cool, man. And then now they're like, oh, I just grabbed a bag of OMI and I'm in the marketplace, and like everyone's all stoked now. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's happened really fast now. There's big adoption from all.
Absolutely, yeah. It truly does feel like we've kicked off collectomania.
Yeah.
Right. I get so many messages from people saying, I'm an adult, I have my own children, and I'm fighting them to get collectibles. You know?
I was one of those where I was like, as an adult male, I never thought I would be so psyched to just have like 12 Myrmicornos.
That's it. And to arrange them and enjoy them. Like I can't wait until we build in more utility for the collectibles too, you know, and more fun things to do with them. So.
Same here. Yeah. So I did put together.
May I also add with this is one of the reasons I can see the opportunities for the collectibles. I can see the opportunities from what I'm seeing. Mystery boxes are coming. My understanding on mystery boxes are very similar, if not the same thing, essentially, almost as loot boxes in gaming, which don't have a good reputation in gaming. I want to see how VeVe counters that reputation in NFTs, but it does make me think about how many different videos I can post about unboxing this, that, and the other. It's going to be very exciting. I'm excited, but yeah, that's just something as a YouTuber's thing, because I do run multiple channels on gaming, and so sometimes gaming can be a little dry.
Like a list of very specific questions, topics from, you know, a couple subscribers and other, you know, YouTubers. And I wanted to start with the most articulate that I've seen from subscribers asking. So are you ready for this first question?
Let's do it.
When Moon, when Pokemon? No, I'm kidding. Don't hang up, please. Don't hang up.
If I had $1 for every time those questions were asked, I probably wouldn't be working here.
Someone like typed that on, like, I was like, so if you were to run into Reese, David, or Dan at like a coffee shop or whatever, like, and you had one question, and like someone put like when Moon, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. It's truly endless, but you know, that's crypto. It's fun. That's
yeah. They want results tomorrow, like all the time. And news, which they don't understand, like what an NDA is and how it works.
Yeah, and I mean, in the normal world, the normal being the non-crypto world, even in the crypto world, companies don't roll out announcements every 3 days. You know, it's not a thing. So, you know,
it's true.
To have them coming regularly every month, especially as you mentioned, when you can see the development happening, and we try to keep everybody as in the loop as possible. You know, I think everybody collectively can see the project moving forward. Which is, it helps to maintain that excitement in between the announcements for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like we already touched on it, but the Ultraman 2D drop this morning was so smooth. So congrats to you and your team. I think Dylan.
Oh, Ultraman, okay.
It went what we expected, like just to go so great, was the right move. And I guess the first question is, like, we've seen that the beta is no longer next to the VeVe logo. Is it safe to say that we're now in the full version?
I think that now it is, yes.
All right. Yeah.
I think we can officially say that. Obviously, you know, it's always going to be in development. There will always be unexpected things come up. But yeah, I think after the drop this morning, yeah, it's pretty safe to say we're officially out of beta.
Awesome. I mean, if anyone like throws any shade, don't worry. Like, we'll be like, guys, it's just post beta. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, now I can't hide behind that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's exciting. It is.
Awesome. Well, one question I did want to ask was, like, we're seeing more and more additions coming out as the user base increases with like Mermicornos and the Back to the Future drops. Are there going to continue to be higher additions each and every drop, or will that depend on the drop or even decrease now that the marketplace is open?
Yeah, it will be on a drop by drop basis. With the Mermicorno and the DeLorean Time Machine, we wanted content in the store. You know, there was a lot of new users that were coming in that couldn't actually get a collectible. That was a lot of the feedback we were receiving. People weren't as frustrated at the drops as they were just not being able to pick up anything, which is why we increased those. So yeah, it will always be capped at some point, and each drop will vary. I mean, obviously the 2D cover art drop editions were significantly lower. I think it's safe to say that the higher edition numbers will be in the commons and the uncommons, for that exact purpose, just to have some content in the store. But it will be determined as we go. Yeah. I don't think we're going to see like outrageous numbers. You know, maybe when we've got 4 or 5 million users, you might have 100,000 commons or something like that.
So next month.
Yeah. And the other option we have, if we ever overdo it, I really don't think we will. We can always remove items from the store too. You know, so it might start with 100,000 editions and then actually become more rare over time. But the way that these drops are going at the moment and the rate of adoption.
Okay, so would that lead to what are your thoughts on that if they were to essentially change the rarity, I guess, and how many are available on certain drops, dependent of course on how many people there are and stuff. Not something I've heard about before. Maybe it's just because I'm a newbie at this stuff, but that definitely sounds like something I haven't heard before.
Just excited and keen to have collectibles as opposed to, you know, worrying too much about it. So.
Yeah, and I think that's the piece a lot of people don't consider is like VeVe has been and is a building company. So it's like thinking about the fact that there could be like 15,000 editions today won't seem like additions from a lot of editions a year or two from now. Like that's going to be like, man, I wish I could have bought a common Mermicorno back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and there will be a lot of clout in having those collectibles that were released early, you know, and the memories that come with them. So
there already is like the term reso. I feel like is very much like a clout term now.
Yeah, absolutely. People know what you're talking about. So yeah. They're good to have.
Will there be any added functionality coming with the VeVe app that will help with user engagement, like a friend list or like push notifications for when you receive collectibles?
Yep. Sorry, you just cut out there. I got friend list.
Oh, like a friend list or push notifications for when you receive collectibles?
Yeah. There should already be push notifications when you're receiving collectibles or when someone sends something to you. I know the devs are still working on the notifications and the filters in the market, that kind of thing. But we will get to a point where you'll be able to contact other collectors as well, especially if you find, you know, someone has a collectible that you're particularly searching for. You might be able to make an offer. Trading will become much more prominent as well. Right now, the only way to exchange collectibles is through the market, and you either list buy now or an auction price. But eventually, you'll be able to trade, you know, say 2 of my collectibles for 1 of yours, and those live trades can happen as well. So that will become a lot more integrative. I think the feed will continue to build out as well. It's quite.
This is very exciting from my end of things. I'm sure for you, I'm like, because obviously not everyone posts to YouTube, I guess, but all these things are things that I'm thinking about regarding covering content for it, trading these different things, whether it be, and obviously we don't know the parameters for trading, but trading a DeLorean for something else that's similar worth or whatever it might be. I think that's going to be a lot of interesting content, a lot of fun obviously for collectors themselves, but
it's a really great space at the moment, but it's quite rudimentary in its capabilities. So I think you'll be able to there'll be a lot more interaction and contact points there to connect with people. That's the whole point of that.
And what about like a referral link to like incentivize spreading like users into the VeVe atmosphere? Like I have a bunch of friends who have like bought into the ECOMI crypto because they're crypto traders and they want NFTs. But I'm thinking like of maybe like, hey, like use my referral link, join VeVe, and maybe get like 10 gems, or maybe like boosts you a tier on the Master Collector program.
Yeah, I mean, these are all very possible integrations. I haven't actually heard anything about a referral link just yet. We're succeeding quite well at attracting new users at the moment. So I suppose a referral link would be a better implementation if that slows down. But anything's possible in the future on that front.
That's fair. Right now it's like, man, there's so many demand right now, and like we all like are just. I mean, I think it sold out in like 10 minutes today.
I think the rares sold out in 2, and the whole drop, which was I think it was 31,800 editions in 10 minutes.
That is crazy.
It's crazy.
And I think like, is there going to be like a wish list feature where like, let's say like Taps Trades could put an ultra rare or like a secret rare wish list, and his good friend with like a matching man bun, Reese, could come in and send him one out of the kindness of his heart or anything like that?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, there is a basic wish list feature in there already where you can bookmark your collectibles, and it adds it to your own wish list.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way you receive notifications if someone lists them in the market, all of those kind of things. As to whether I'll be able to visit your profile, see your wish list, and send you something, I'm not actually sure on that front.
Okay, awesome. And just thinking about like the other players in the NFT space and like specifically the collectible side, we're starting to see some with like Terra Virtua and Digital. Do you see any possible threat to market share from competitors, or is it, or like potential copycats, or is it like just a vast space that everyone's kind of just doing their own thing?
Yeah, I think I'm in that court at the moment. This is a brand new industry. There are so many companies and brands and fandoms out there that at the moment, I think all the players in the space can happily operate in their own bubbles, basically. So no, I think that everybody should be testing this technology, using it, supporting all of these projects, because it ultimately supports the entire industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I really just think we're at the start of the NFT wave.
I very much agree with you, and that actually leads really well into my next question, which is the NFT space in general. Like, all of us clearly believe in it. You believe in it, but a lot of people say like it's a bubble or a fad, and eventually like the bear market with crypto will come, and some NFT projects who are just starting out or didn't have enough utility are gonna not survive. So I guess, I believe in it, but from you, like, why is VeVe here to stay?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I want to hear the answer to this.
I think we've just seen the first NFT hype cycle, and token wise, a lot of projects have been repriced very positively. But as to whether some of these projects have longevity in the industry, that remains to be seen. Our key point of difference is the licensing. We're accessing existing fan bases. We're bringing a product that people already know and love, and offering it in a new format. I really think that is what will set us apart. I mean, it's what sets us apart already, but what we'll continue to, because we're not trying to...
This is why I've already been, at the moment at least, sold by VeVe in terms of what they're doing. This is why I'm excited about what they're doing, because I've already seen the content they're bringing, and it just makes sense based on what they already have. And we can really even see it's very, I think, smart that Reese has the VeVe content behind him. We have so many legacy IPs here: Ghostbuster, Harley Quinn, Batman, the Powerpuff Girls, Adventure Adventure Time, Back to the Future, all of these, it's not like they have to sell this to new fandoms. These fandoms have existed and they can literally just sell what these fandoms want to them straight away, no questions asked, essentially, apart from obviously having to license all of it.
Source a brand new audience for these collectibles, and because we operate in so many different verticals, and obviously have more than 100 brands on board already, our community will only continue to expand. And for most of those, I mean, we haven't announced the vast majority of them. We haven't even targeted users or customers from those fandoms. So I think that gives us a lot of staying power as well.
Yeah.
And I also think from a marketing point of view, especially YouTubers like myself and like every ECOMI VeVe NFT YouTuber, it's not obviously just me, I've only been posting a few videos, so I can't even say me yet, but I do think that what we're doing is going to be huge, because it's what is known as earned media, as some of you marketing heads might know. Essentially, the more we make videos, the more that we talk about it, the more that it is in the online space for the entire world, essentially, at this point, to access, to be aware of, to enjoy, etc. This is only going to grow and grow. Of course, they can target each of these audiences. They can do paid adverts toward Ghostbusters fans, towards DeLorean or Back to the Future fans, etc. But I do think the earned media on this stuff is going to be crazy, and that's something I personally really want to help and add to VeVe. I know that personally VeVe I'm going to do probably fairly well in overall, but I also hope that I can actually help out in the VeVe and in the crypto and NFT space in general. So
I totally agree. There's so much still untapped, but it sounds like you guys have a ton working under the scenes, and it's just a matter of eventually getting there. So I've told quite a few people, like, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And even though it's a marathon, they're walking really fast during that marathon.
True.
You mentioned the licensing side. We've all come to know and love Mr. Alpha Khan. And so that interview, I'm curious, do we have a rough time frame on when that is? And will it be on ECOMI's YouTube channel?
Yeah, I'm lining it up for next week. Because we're all in different time zones, it makes it difficult, but we'll make that happen. And yeah, it will go out on our YouTube channel. I'll post it everywhere anyway, so I don't think anyone will miss it.
Awesome. And next question I had is, we've seen a ton looking to invest in the actual ECOMI token with the same questions where it's like, it's not on Binance, it's not on Coinbase or any, in their words, like an app friendly or widely used exchange yet. You mentioned in some other interviews, multiple exchanges are coming, which will help enable more people.
That's exciting.
To invest in OMI. Is there an estimated number of exchanges we can expect to be added by the end of the year?
Yeah, I think we've got 3 or 4 lined up for the next couple of months.
Next couple of months.
To be clear, by the way, that subscribe CTA is not Reese's, is Taps, not mine. To be very clear, I'm not putting that on right now.
Time-wise, that depends on the exchange as well. We'll make the strategic moves, so I don't want to commit to any particular day or date, but yeah, I think we should have some good news coming out on that front sooner than later.
Awesome. And will it be the OMI token, or will there actually be some like wrapped OMI, the WOMI token as well?
OMI. It'll be OMI. Yeah. That's our core token. Yeah, I haven't checked the liquidity pool lately, but wrapped OMI is really just to give our token holders that opportunity if they want to earn some liquidity rewards on Uniswap. But no, fundamentally the OMI token is our token.
Awesome. Thanks for confirming that. And feel free to answer this or not, but so I saw, I think it was 2 days ago on VeVe's Twitter, posted a throwback photo of CZ from Binance. It said like 3 years later, and this is still only beginning of what is to come for NFTs. Is David just trolling us out of fun, or care to comment on that?
Yeah, I think that photo was from an event in our early days, and that was when I think we had just launched the secure wallet. We were trying to explain NFTs to people and point out the opportunity, and we just got blank faces. No one had any idea what we were talking about, didn't see it coming, all those kind of things. So look, I think that's just a combination of good timing. The photo resurfaced, CZ posting about NFTs, that pesky guy that runs the VeVe Twitter just having some fun.
That pesky guy, yeah.
Yeah.
I bet those licensors back then who were like, I don't know what NFT is. I'm not going to sign up. These guys are kicking themselves today.
They're calling us, like everyone we've spoken to in the last few years. I mean, credit to the guys that saw the opportunity and joined us early on. A lot of these licensing deals have taken 2 years or longer to come to fruition. But now that the space is so hot and the mainstream is really starting to understand the value proposition of NFTs and the community building and the connectivity and all of these aspects that feed into the industry, these licensors are calling us every second day and trying to get on board. So
that's so exciting.
That's why I'm confident that
that's so
space,
exciting.
Although we may have seen the last few months.
I'm really hoping that the team is expanding from a development point of view, not from just an app point of view, but from the actual NFT development product thing. I mean, we've spoken already. We've looked at Jake's interview with Trevor Diet's lead content producer at ECOMI, and they've said how small the team really is. So I think the whole team is going to hopefully have to expand tenfold. But then, to be fair, the user base is also expanding, so I can see it happening.
Crypto hype cycle in NFTs, we haven't even breached the mainstream. So
yeah, that I can't remember if it was the Dr. Degen interview where you said we have roughly around 100 licenses on deck, and we've seen roughly 15 or so. That got me really hyped.
That's so exciting.
This is still very, very early from what we've seen.
Very early. And not just, as we mentioned before, we operate in a lot of fandom verticals. And it just gives us access to so many different things, whether it's vehicles or anime or celebrities or pop culture, artists, with the Artist Alley rolling out later in the year and all of these kind of things. So, the amount of content and the brands that we can bring on is almost endless at this point.
Absolutely. And I'm going to ask a couple of those soon. But
yep.
One thing I did get a lot of questions around was just a little bit of clarity around the buybacks. When and how will that affect the circulating supply and economy, token value, and when can we expect, I guess, some the first buyback or how that's going to work?
Yeah. So now that there you go. Sorry, just cut out again. Now that the optimization phase is pretty well done, it's not done, but it's very much past the difficulty point. All of those things, the developments, the tokenomic rollout, will start to be implemented. So I'm under the impression that buybacks will begin once we have a bit more liquidity, but hopefully that is resolved in the next few months as well. So we'll see that come out. Now, in terms of its impact on the tokenomic system, it's all predicated on the sale of our NFTs. But say from the store, with 10% of company revenue is going to buybacks from the store. If you've calculated sort of what has come into the company from our drops recently, 30,000 additions this morning, I guess that was $1.5 million or something like that. So we're talking 150,000 minus a bit for app fees would go to buybacks. Now, if we're dropping multiple brands per week, selling out each drop, I don't think it takes that much to see the impact that those buybacks will start to have on the token.
Yeah, I look forward to those multi-week drops. Although I don't know how
as long as they go like this morning's one, I look forward to them.
I mean, based on some of the licenses that we've seen upcoming and some that we can hope on other verticals. I mean, I don't think that's going to be an issue. And I very much like the time zone in which you guys drop things because it's early for me. And I'm like, okay, I can't work during this time. I have to be on my phone and get ready to go,
Yeah, I'm glad you like the drop time.
I know it's hard for others, but yeah.
It's just how it is.
Don't change it though. It's okay.
Just for you.
And I did want to ask about, another big question that I received from a lot of people is just a little bit of, and I think you've touched on it quite a bit, but just some clarity around staking. Is it going to be exclusive to the ECOMI hard wallet, or is it going to be, able to send OMI to the VeVe app and that's where it's staked? And then I guess kind of when in which quarter can we expect that?
Yeah, so I think both options will be available. I mean, the secure wallet is our product. So if it's available to stake through that, we will obviously build in that integration, but not everybody has the secure wallet. right? And we'll
I don't
also
have
bring
one
out,
yet.
yeah, we'll bring out the VeVe digital wallet at some point as well, which will have the same sort of integration. But no, the staking, I think we have to make it available through the app, because the vast majority of VeVe users won't use a crypto wallet. You know, we've built the app specifically to not be crypto. So I think both options will be available. I'm going to assume it will be available in the app first, but I won't actually have the specifics until we're closer to rolling it out. So the staking is part of the Master Collector program, which you may be aware of, but that's when we add a layer of light gamification to VeVe, so badges and rewards and things like that. And as part of that program, you'll be able to stake your OMI tokens, which will contribute to your Master Collector ranking. And it's as you increase your collector ranking that you gain access to more exclusive things within the app. So that's just one portion of the Master Collector. Any sort of app participation, obviously building your collection will earn you points as well. But once we're at that point, it actually lets us pinpoint, you might be the biggest Batman fan or the biggest Batman collector, but you don't collect Tokidoki. So we can reward you with more specific Batman content, you know, maybe like a Batcave showroom, or you have access to things like that. So
that's
general,
cool.
it helps you level up your collector ranking, but it also gives us the opportunity to reward fans. And build in that. So
I'll probably have a Myrmicorno cave based on how many I have, if that's the thing.
Just a big fountain.
And there's, one thing that we've seen in the community is there's just like, people are getting so creative with like the speculation and leaks and all that crazy stuff. I saw one the other day where they showed like a Harley Quinn with like a certain like diamond tattoo on her leg and like talking about Easter eggs. So I'm curious, like, are there currently any Easter eggs, and are there some every drop?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
No, we haven't got that far yet. The priority has been making sure that the drops go seamlessly. But we now have Trevor on board, who is our digital production manager. He came across from Riot Games. Super excited. If you guys don't follow him on Twitter, he is the self-proclaimed hype train.
To be very clear, this is because I've already watched his interview, we've already gone over some of the stuff, and I was very happy to hear what Trevor had to say about stuff, especially coming from Riot Games. He clearly understands some of the fandom behind some of the stuff. I mean, he is lead content producer, I believe, so makes sense, but yeah, very exciting.
So go check that out. But all of those, fun little things will start to make appearances in the app.
I also want to make clear that I'm going to do my best to try and cover as many Easter eggs that we see. I mean, I already kind of have in a way, in that I've looked through all the sort of companies that we've seen VeVe working with, looking at their other IPs and seeing maybe there are potentials that if they have the license with, say, for example, DCU, for example, that we could see more DCU characters come to light as we've seen Harley Quinn and Batman and such.
I feel like you, David, and Dan are the hype trains, but yeah, Trevor's going to build his own base. I'm going to go follow him after this.
Good. Yeah, the more the merrier, as far as I'm concerned. There's so many little tidbits that fly around our ecosystem, whether it's David Yu's Instagram or between the ECOMI and VeVe Twitters and all of that. So yeah, it takes a bit to put all the pieces together, but as you said, that's what we're seeing now. People are trolling all of our community pages and putting together the puzzle pieces and little leaks, and it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
It's good to know that he likes it, because sometimes devs don't want it to happen, and
Are there any, minimum thresholds, whether it's like you have to hold X number?
To be very clear, by the way, not that Reese is a dev as such. I call devs, basically anyone who works on the project that I'm reporting on. So developers in general and gaming, obviously, even, say, for example, a marketing coordinator or a PR specialist, even if they don't develop the game from a coding perspective, we call them devs anyway, so.
This drop, or, completing sets gives you, added, I don't know, it's like experience points or how it's going to work. And is there like I guess like a time frame around that?
Yeah, experience points are probably the best way to think of it, depending on what you're doing in the app. As I said, maybe you become a Tokidoki Master Collector or a Batman Master Collector, or one overall. I think the initial implementation will be just a general sort of collector ranking before it becomes more specified. Now the rollout of it, all of our development plans are probably they've been pushed back a couple of months while we re-engineered everything. It's expected to roll out this year, the master collector. We might see the first implementations of that and then build.
That's huge.
As we move forward. As we all know, this is a multi-year journey to building this out. So I wish I could say Q3, Q4, something like that. I think we'll see the first implementations this year, but we'll see how the development roadmap rolls out in the next few months as well.
Sounds good. And are there some things like we could be doing as VeVe collectors that would put ourselves like in a good spot in terms of like tier or level?
Not yet, I don't think. Obviously, yeah, just enjoying the app and sharing it with people.
So what that means is that we're going to learn more about that very soon. And of course, as soon as that press release comes out, as I'm expecting it will be a press release, you know that we'll be covering it on this channel.
Helping everybody in the ecosystem, but I don't think that there's points being attributed yet. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that for now.
Well, the good news is we very much enjoy it and are avidly collecting. So no worries there. One other question I had was like, can you help us understand, whether it's future based or not, but like what the marketing plan looks like for VeVe and collectibles, like even for, I guess, the rest of the year? Like, is there going to be any form of advertising? Because like the VeVe collectible app is, broader than just crypto, or will be like primarily influencer based?
No, we'll be touching. There's a lot of touch points that will come with our marketing plan. So pretty soon we'll start to move into the mainstream awareness that will come through. I think we should be announcing some news soon about some PR partnerships that we have in place.
Okay.
And the beauty of having this.
Because we have seen more recently, but I don't know if it was between this interview or not, where we've already seen VeVe, and I can't remember for the life of me the PR company they've partnered with, unfortunately, but I have heard through friends and through reading through a bit of some stuff that, yes, VeVe has definitely got some good marketing heads partnerships with them, so that's really good to see. I am interested to see how they market this stuff. You know what, as far as I'm concerned, as someone who is a marketer myself, I can't wait to see what they do for market, because what they have here is so damn unique, and it's actually similar, I think, to how I see with Fortnite as far as how they've built in. We have the Walking Dead characters, we have Travis Scott's concert, of course he had his skin in there, Marshmallow of course is in there, Ninja, who is a streamer, of course a very popular Twitch streamer, is on there, and we have so many different third-party integrations. I do believe that I think that there are ways that the official channels for these different IPs, such as Ghostbusters, such as Powerpuff Girls, which I'm assuming is owned by Cartoon Network, etc., could really show a lot of this off, and I think it would be beneficial to these brands in particular to work with VeVe to market these collectibles. And we'll see what happens, because I doubt that a lot of these people who have licensed, my apologies, my Facebook just went, I doubt a lot of the people who have licensed the stuff don't have future plans for this stuff. So
on board is that we really can maximize the exposure from each license and each announcement that we make. So all of those are strategic, but they're definitely designed to be put into the mainstream, because these brands are mainstream. They are established. So each one will be pushed into those kind of channels and avenues. There's also some very traditional marketing, in the back of comic books, events like Comic-Con, things like that, where it is targeted depending on the brand. Obviously all of the usual online advertising and those things, but the way that these things work these days, you can pinpoint your perfect user, customer, based on their likes and their internet activity and those kind of things. So yeah, we have some very top of the line partners on board to help us with that.
Awesome. I feel like you're leading into my questions really well with the mention of Comic-Con, which I was gonna say, like, event focus has been mentioned, which we saw peak, at the event in Japan and the recent NFT summit, but it sounds like we can expect a VeVe booth at Comic-Cons and anime conventions, and what other kind of events are on the docket?
Yeah, first thing, I don't think you'll have any chance of stopping David Yu from going to those events.
Yes.
he's a huge fan. So yeah, those kind of events, I'm not quite privy to which ones are on the horizon. As you said, we are at a lot of industry trade shows and licensing shows. We did attend Rise in Hong Kong a couple of years ago as well, which is a big tech trade show. So on one side, that will be a focus, introducing the product to new licensors and to other people in the industry. And then on the other side, the fan base side, which would be your Comic-Cons and those kind of events. So we can showcase the apps. We can also, you're probably aware, but we can drive traffic to certain locations using the geolocation of the app, which means that, you know, if you attend a Comic-Con, you might be able to get a secret rare collectible or some other sort of exclusive content. And that doesn't just have to be at big events. As you know, we have a...
My wonder is, are we going to see, or is it or when, I suppose, are we going to see integrations with social media sites such as Twitch, for example, because Twitch has an audience that I think definitely could nerd out to this sort of thing. I also know that obviously with the Twitch Prime stuff integrations, it'll be interesting to see what we might see through Twitch, YouTube. Obviously we have YouTube drops as well, so it'll be very interesting. I think there's so many opportunities. It all depends as well on who obviously wants to work with VeVe on this, but realistically, based on what they're doing, I think it's an open market for sure, and it'll be interesting to see who and which influencers they also work with, not just from a crypto point of view either. You know, Tapstrade is awesome, but also obviously, you know, there are Twitch streamers out there who have sizable followings, and it would be amazing to see how VeVe could work with those, because that, I think, will also help push this further into the mainstream with a really nice adoption cycle, I think.
Partnership with Toy Tokyo. So, you know, we might decide to drive traffic to their store and run a promotion there, or with similar partners as well.
That's really exciting on all fronts. Really look forward to like seeing, I guess, the future, what like the calendar looks like for events. And you know, I'm on the same boat as David. In case it hasn't been widely known, I'm a huge nerd and go to Comic-Con and anime conventions, so I'll have to cosplay as Ultraman and hang out with David.
Absolutely. Cosplay as David.
Oh man. Yeah, that would be the winner of that convention for sure.
Absolutely.
And you just mentioned like the geolocation side on the retail side. So how would that work? Would that be like, I'm going to buy a real life collectible, and then something inside, like I scan it and then I get a VeVe collectible as well? Or how does that work?
So I would say that's probably a separate integration. So say with our VeVe Collect wallet, digital wallet, whenever that comes out, the idea is that is a shelf ready retail product and would come with a redemption code. So you would actually see the collectible that you will receive in purchasing that wallet. So that would be a separate sort of integration. The geolocation thing, you know, where you are using the location tracking on your phone, it can actually determine that you're in that store, and that would be enough to receive a collectible or something like that, just for attending that sort of event.
That's cool.
One thing I'm really excited about, and I think is an awesome integration, it's not going to happen anytime soon, but say at a Comic-Con and those kind of events where you would normally get your comic book signed by the artist or something like that, we will eventually build in a way that you can get the artist's digital signature and attach it to your NFT. So it's
that's cool.
Yeah, right. So
that's cool.
I don't think it'll be a send and send back. I think it'll be, you know, they can sign it on your phone and it's attached, and being a composable NFT, that autograph is now always attached to your reso or your collectible. And if you sell that collectible, it would sell it as the autographed version of it, things like that. So
that goes crazy. That is crazy.
In the ecosystem eventually.
So everyone watching, make sure you're saving up your frequent flyer miles and get ready for when VeVe hits events, because I'm psyched for that.
I just can't imagine, I can't imagine the IPs that we could see getting signed by, you know, the actor or, you know, whoever it is, the famous people behind certain things, like Harley Quinn, you know, being signed by Margot Robbie or something like that, you know, and that would just easily 10x, 50x, whatever x, the resale value, I guess. Or of course, if the person is literally to collect, then there's obviously that sentimental value as well.
be some cool stuff. I'm not going to say that it's happening anytime soon, but things like that are on the cards for sure.
So Q3. No, I'm kidding. When the world reopens,
Yeah. Well, and look, that's the other thing at the moment, right? I mean, the world is still relatively shut down. Yeah. So a lot of these events aren't happening. A lot of the digital events have been pretty amazing. We just attended the Jefferies Licensing International event, and to see NFTs making headlines in that space, and the wider licensing industry starting to understand that potential, and then to be some of the main speakers at that event, it's quite an honor and a privilege to share this industry with people.
Yeah, I can't wait to attend those. And I mentioned anime. You mentioned anime. Was that? I think you mentioned might have been Dr. Degen interview, but you mentioned like that was potentially a focus of the event in Japan. Did that end up bearing fruit in terms of licensing for anime, or did it end up being another focus?
I don't know, to be honest. Only David would have the secrets for that. As an industry trade show, I think we had already connected with quite a lot of licensors that were displaying there. But as I mentioned, those events are a really good opportunity to showcase what we're doing, and establish those kind of regional licenses as well.
Awesome. And we touched on it a little bit earlier, but the Artist Alley has been mentioned quite a few times. Can you give us a little bit more detail about what that entails? Like, would this open up the creation of collectibles on the VeVe app by all artists, like in an OpenSea Rarible format, or specifically for graphic novel and notable artists?
Yeah, specifically for curated artists.
Okay.
At least in its early iterations, but that's definitely the intention there. The same as the other licenses that we've brought on board. VeVe is really focused on the premium top tier brands and licenses, and that incorporates the top tier artists as well. So yeah, to start with, it will definitely be curated and specific artists. Eventually it might become a sort of incubation platform, but the artists that are brought on board, at least to my knowledge, will continue to be handpicked. It won't be a user generated platform. There's already kind of, those marketplaces exist. They get pretty chaotic, so there definitely has to be a degree of not control, but there has to be a degree of selectability about it.
Makes sense. And I ask about the first part just because us VeVe fans have all become like professional researchers / detectives, and I think it was Kyle Wilson sent me an old article from 2018 that said VeVe had a partnership with OpenSea. So I was like, does that mean it's gonna like eventually open up to like that kind of format?
Yeah. So in the early days, before we sort of redesigned a lot of things, that was an easy integration to make. That was before OpenSea was really the go-to marketplace and platform. And then as VeVe developed, we sort of moved away from that. But as you're probably aware, we are absolutely working towards interoperability of the NFTs. There will come a time when you can send them out. Some of our licensors are keen to go straight to interoperability. So at that point, you'll be able to send them off the app and sell them wherever you want. That's not so much a partnership. It's not really as necessary now because it's an open marketplace. Anyone that's built on the same standard or any standards that OpenSea, for example, supports, you'll be able to send your collectibles to those marketplaces. Now, obviously, you don't get the full VeVe experience. If you're sending it off app, there won't be any AR. I assume it would be limited in.
So that'll be a value-based transaction and proposition generally compared to, I suppose, value is a weird way of putting it, I guess, because there is still value in obviously using AR and stuff, but it'll be a different value, I guess is the better way of putting it. It'll be a very different value.
Or however they're built and displayed on other marketplaces. I think it's also safe to assume that there wouldn't be any token burns or anything like that because it's being sold off the app. But ultimately, that's what the community is asking for. People want that flexibility. Personally, I think that it might be a bit gimmicky for a week and then everybody will return to the VeVe app anyway.
Right. you've mentioned like the interoperability piece, quite a few times, and I've mentioned my videos too, and I feel like people don't understand like a lot what that means. Like that is going to open up a lot to other investors, and it's also going to open up to a lot of collectors like who use other formats for that. So like I think that's a really big piece.
Yeah, absolutely. It will bring more eyeballs to VeVe ultimately, because if you're scrolling through OpenSea and there's some crypto kitties and some punks and then ultra rare reso, you'll want to know where that came from, and then you follow the breadcrumbs back to VeVe and then realize the experience is way better, and that's where you stay.
Yeah, but who's selling a reso? You got to hold on to that. That's gold.
That's it. I'm gonna buy a house with a reso.
That's right. Thank you, Eduardo. In your last interview with Dan, he had mentioned you've added some new devs to the team who can improve the showroom and add functionality. And we've seen hints and mentions of adding accessories and props to the showroom with like the shelving. Would these accessories and props be a part of a drop, or would it be something you could buy direct from like the marketplace that are created by VeVe?
Yeah, it'll actually become a separate part of the store. So you
have
collectibles, and then you'll have accessories, and you can go through the list of accessories, and these will obviously be very high run, very available things. There will be limited items as well to add some scarcity there, but the plinths, the shelving, the basic supports, those kind of things to help you customize your showroom, they'll be available in the store. Yeah.
Awesome. And one other piece of that is I caught on the last interview was Dan mentioned you added a full-time Unity expert. And for those who don't know what Unity is a cross-platform game engine. So that brings us to the question around the VEVEVERSE. You mentioned partnerships in the past with Pixion and Big Red Button Games, and even said a reference to Ready Player One in that Dr. Degen AMA. Can you kind of dive into give us a little bit peek behind the curtain, like what we can really expect from the VEVEVERSE? Because that piece alone is just so exciting to look forward to.
Yeah, look, I think that's the next big iteration of VeVe and these collectibles. I can't give you too many details at the moment. Obviously, it's in development. The full rollout will still be a little while away. I think we'll have a web browser version of VeVe in its current state before the VEVEVERSE is really built out.
Sure, that makes
Same
sense.
reason, just to bring more eyes to the project and give people more.
And I personally cannot wait for a web app because much love to VeVe, but the mobile app could be better. I know it's improving though. It's early. Like, I'm not roasting or anything like that. I'm excited for better things to come for sure.
Particularly if your phone doesn't support AR. Because the app is limited in that sense. But the VEVEVERSE, I think you've probably put the pieces together that it will be our own metaverse style game or universe. I'm assuming there'll be land and all of those kind of things. That's where we'll build the big VeVe showroom with all the number ones. So everybody can come and enjoy that. As to what else is in there, I can't really say much about it. I'm under the assumption the licensors will be able to build their own space, whether that's something we build for them or they build, or and of course all different mini games and things like that. But the idea is that it builds in much more utility for your collectibles. So you might be able to be the Batman. That's your character, and you interact with other people doing things like that. So we'll just have to wait and see on that one.
I mean, that's
okay, then.
The dream is to be Batman. Only I want my parents to live in that scenario.
So yeah, it's I think at least in the early stages, the content and applications in the VEVEVERSE will still be built by us and curated by us, as opposed to external developers building what they want. But I actually don't have more details than that.
No, I mean, I appreciate that even that piece. And thinking about myself as Batman, is that like an extra layer of functionality on AR? Is ECOMI VeVe, and I'm not sure if you can answer this, but looking at partnerships with wearable head-mounted displays, whether it's Oculus or HoloLens, or will it be solely mobile device, or in desktop based?
No, we're very much building for the wearable future.
Okay.
I don't know if we have any specific partnership with Oculus or a company that's building the hardware, but I'm personally of the belief that phones will be obsolete in a decade. I think we'll all be using wearables. In that digital world, you want premium digital content, and really we're just going to continue to see the integration of augmented reality technology in our day-to-day. I think that that's where people truly see the potential of VeVe in its current iteration as well.
That's quite the theory. I'd love to hear your take on that, actually, because when you said that with no hesitation about phones being obsolete, maybe I'm a boomer, even though I'm in my early 20s. But okay, I mean, that sounds very interesting, to say the least. I mean, if a lot of this is going to be wearables, then this really does open an extra layer to the entire thing. And I knew that like VR is definitely something that, it's something that Trevor and Jake spoke about. So it is something that it's interesting.
I can't wait to be untethered by the phone.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, the showrooms are built that way. The fact you can drop it in augmented reality and hold your phone up and walk through it is amazing. But when you don't have to hold the phone up and you can actually explore that digital space in your own space, like it's going to be pretty cool.
That's super exciting.
And I feel like, well, and this obviously isn't financial advice, but that very much will drive up the price, drive up the value. Very exciting.
It's kind of like a two-parter, and you mentioned in the DJ interview that you're most excited for like the drivable cars. We've seen the Ghostbusters, the Back to the Future, and GM. Will there be other specific brands we'll see soon, whether it's like exports and luxury cars and things like that?
Yeah, there will. I'll just leave it at that for now. Yeah.
Okay. And I don't know if this has ever been brought up, but have you considered getting in touch with Mr. Elon Musk? Because like a Tesla Cybertruck, and looking what he's done with Doge and being their official spokesperson, like unofficially, I mean, maybe we should all just tweet Elon, you need to sign a licensing deal with David and Alfred.
Yeah, just damn him. I don't know. I actually don't know if they do many licensing deals at the moment. I would love to see us partner with SpaceX.
Oh, yeah.
Just put the OMI symbol on the side of a rocket to the moon. I'm fine with that.
I look forward to the day where like space travel is almost like a NASCAR. There's just stickers all over it, like VeVe across it. Yeah,
exactly. And with wearables, you'll see ads and ad space in space. I don't know where the world is in 50 years, but it's going to be interesting to watch.
But VeVe will be there.
VeVe will be there.
Yeah. I appreciate the time. I have a few more questions, so thanks for bearing with me. We saw the NFLPA image at the NFT Summit. Really excited for that, and like to what you mentioned before, there's all kinds of different verticals, right? Like I've been a collector since I was a little kid, and like that speaks to me, and anime speaks to me. But going into like a vertical sports is a whole nother ballgame, pun intended. But what kind of functionality can we expect from the players? Like, will a wide receiver be catching a ball, QB throwing, like a touchdown dance? Like, can you speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We haven't even started to roll out some of the interactive collectibles yet. I think some of the Monster Hunter ones will probably be the first ones we see, or outside of the DeLorean time machine. But yeah, that is absolutely the intention. You'll be able to stand and take photos with your favorite NFL players in AR. You might be able to eventually add moves to them as well. So, making that touchdown throw or whatever it happens.
Sounds like Fortnite emotes.
Yeah, the possibilities there are quite limitless as well. So it'll be good. I think I've mentioned this previously, but the newest phones are coming out with LiDAR technology in them as well, right? Which rather than just placing your collectibles into your surroundings, your phone is actually capable of 3D mapping the room, which means that your collectibles can then interact with your real world surroundings more than just throwing a ball or something like that. So you might be driving the DeLorean around and crash into the wall, and then it's dented permanently, or that you have to take it to the AR garage and get it fixed. Like there's some really
and then when you fix it, you have to pay a ton of money, a ton of OMI to get it fixed. I'm sorry, that's a bad joke, but
we'll continue to roll out as the technology improves. So
yeah, absolutely, love it. You know, we also saw the T-Rex from Jurassic Park, you know, knocking over collectibles in David's house, which his house looks awesome. And we also saw the Starship Enterprise. Do we know yet what other kinds of like dinosaurs or Trekkie collectibles we're going to be seeing?
Nope.
Not yet.
I don't know. We'll find out. Yeah. I mean, look, we have access. The beauty of these brands and licenses, we have access to their library of content. So we can bring out a lot of things, and that's why a lot of these partnerships and deals, they are years long. You know, and we'll continue to bring out more content from all licenses.
Awesome. And we're nearing the end, so I'm getting to a little bit more of the grill questions, so bear with me. And I don't like to speculate much, and I understand NDA agreements are in place, but we saw that image during the NFT event that looks almost identical to the Marvel logo. Marvel has not been officially announced, correct?
Correct.
Okay. But would you say if something like that were to be announced in the future, would that be considered a big announcement, like maybe like a 12 out of 10 on a scale?
I'm not going to speculate. It was a nice try, but
I had to try, right? Like everyone's, that was a big question.
Absolutely. Look, obviously, as awareness of VeVe grows, we have some incredible licenses on board, and artists and brands, and they're only growing bigger, you know, and as our user base grows, as people really see the value proposition behind them and the use cases, and as I mentioned, the connectivity between brand and consumer, more and more are keen to get involved. You know, at the moment, as incredible as our success has been, we're still the little guy, you know, and as the VeVe brand continues to grow, more licensors will continue to come on board. So the announcements, they'll continue to get bigger, but your impression of big depends on what you're a fan of.
Right.
So some people can't wait for the NFL, whereas some people don't care about it at all, you know, because it's just not their interest. So what's big to one person may not be big to another, but collectively, I mean, every brand that comes out and launches products on VeVe just grows the entire space. So it's yeah.
Fair enough. And to your point, like, I mean, the NFL side, I think, will be massive to its own accord. You know, it's that's one of, you know, many verticals, and I think you guys are building out an incredible ecosystem. Have you guys shared like what are all the verticals on the roadmap? I know you mentioned like audio and a couple other things as well.
Yeah, I think they are available. Well, I know they're available in our articles, but off the top of my head, there's pop culture, sports, gaming, which would be sort of Monster Hunter and things. We should have some new gaming licenses rolling out at some point this year as well. Film and TV, anime.
Gaming is very exciting for me as someone who runs gaming channels on YouTube and stuff. I am interested to see which popular IPs they are going to bring literally to life. It's going to be so exciting.
Animation, celebrities, vehicles, disposal, and art and artists to that as well. So, you know, there's 8.
You know, I'm just thinking right now, based on what he's saying, like seeing a concert, you know, with with any artist obviously you can think of, you know, seeing, you know, Batman flying above the concert, and just the sky's the limit. Literally, the sky is the limit with this stuff. And as I learn more and more about it, which again, I've got to be clear, obviously, I am very new to a lot of this. It just makes me more and more excited, as you can probably tell from my voice.
Verticals already, all of which have hundreds of brands, hundreds of millions of fans. And you know, that's the beauty of being a platform as opposed to, you know, a specific brand. We really can take this in a lot of directions. We can roll out a lot of different products within those verticals, all of which, really help to attract users, but really just connect the IP to the consumer as well.
Yeah, and I mean, out of those 8 verticals, I feel like we've touched on like 1.1 of those. So like, there's still so much to see, right? So that in itself is exciting to see the other verticals roll out. What I think, aside from the drivable cars, you know, what are you looking forward, you know, to the most of what's upcoming? And I guess like which quarter will be like the game changer for VeVe this year?
I mean, I feel like we've kind of changed the game already, but I think this whole year is going to be huge. This is when the spotlight is on the industry. It's very nascent. We're seeing huge celebrities come into NFTs already. I think Kings of Leon have released an album. I saw Eminem is releasing an NFT or something the other day. So although
that's interesting,
it almost feels like the crypto NFT cycle or hype cycle has kind of died off a little bit. I really do think that the whole space is about to push into the mainstream. So I don't see us slowing down at all anytime in the next few years. I don't think I'm going to get a good night's sleep for 12 months. But yeah, I'm truly excited for this whole year. Now, we probably would have had some new developments available in the app already had we not had to re-engineer a few things. So I think the next few months will be really exciting for us. Yeah, as we start to build in more usability and implementations within the app.
Yeah, I think by the time we're able to go to an event and actually share that beer, you might have some gray hair all in there based on how much you guys are having to put into this right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, and look, I'm excited for those events. Someone's organized the ECOMI already.
Yeah.
Yes. There's
VeVeCon, ECOMI, all about it.
Yeah. So depending on how big this grows, yeah, maybe we become the next Comic-Con. I don't know. It's a crazy kind of thing. So
yeah, I will. I'll help support that for sure. And to that note, like we've seen an incredible community built around ECOMI and VeVe on YouTube and Twitter and Telegram and in the VeVe app itself. Some are proactively showing support with like Hello K, finding and reporting bugs, and the VeVe Art Show that's coming up next week with like Kyle Wilson, Stonks, and VeVe Asian, and all them. What are some other ways, for people and fans to continue to support VeVe and spread awareness, as users?
Yeah. So just before we get to that, huge shout out to you and Kyle and Jake and everybody else that is contributing, Kay. And it's incredible to wake up every day and see new content about us. Sometimes I learn things that I didn't know about the platform.
You're like, wow, we have Marvel already? Oh, wait.
Yeah. It's pretty funny to see. But so yeah, massive thanks to everybody that is contributing to this. Really, just more of the same. At the moment, having 250,000 people that are enjoying the app is having an incredible impact. As we said, at the start of March, we had 10 or 15,000 users. So we've seen that exponential growth. I think we're going to continue to see that. And all of that content, although some of it is highly speculative, really just introduces new people to the platform and what's going on. So yeah, I'm not going to request that people just pump out more of it, but please continue to do what you're doing, and especially from a point of being a fan. It's so.
This is literally why, and I think we've generally come to the end here. This is why, or one of the reasons why I've made this channel is I do see the potential in VeVe. I'm also posting other videos about other things in what I'm interested in generally, because I didn't have a channel for that before. I have a lot of different channels on YouTube, but nothing for business, I guess, in general. I have a lot of gaming channels and stuff, but it definitely, it is exciting as a content creator, as I've done so many different things in different niches and topics online, to see something like this where all the IPs are together, where we can literally just talk about basically endless opportunities is a dream for me as a YouTuber, someone who makes a living online full time, to be able to just chat about the endless possibilities of VeVe and other things that are happening in the tech and business space. So I'm really excited, and I'm really glad that Taps Trades and of course that Reese have done this together, and we're going to be doing more I suppose watch parties of interviews and stuff over time. Eventually I'll probably do some live streams, but I appreciate everyone who's been watching, and I hope that you found some of my own takes on what they've been talking about here useful. Of course, this is not financial advice. I'm nowhere near anything like that, but I appreciate everyone's time, and I hope you have a great day. I will catch you in the next video.